Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Stephen Curry courted $212 million superstar to join Warriors this summer. The Golden State Warriors enlisted Stephen Curry's help to try and land a second superstar over the summer, but to no avail. Marcus Thompson of The Athletic reported on August 30 that Curry actively courted nine-time All-Star Paul George, formerly of the Los Angeles Clippers, before the forward ultimately signed with the Philadelphia 76ers for $212 million over the next 4 years. Curry recruited Paul George, Thompson wrote. So Curry is aware of what was in the Warriors' control and how much of their whiffs were creditable to their rivals. The Warriors lost Klay Thompson to the Dallas Mavericks in free agency before striking out on a sign-and-trade deal for George as well as a trade for Lauri Markkanen, who ultimately signed an extension to remain with the Utah Jazz. Golden State still had a strong offseason, adding DeAnthony Melton, Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson. While the skill sets that the three men incorporate include everything the Dubs need: perimeter defense, Melton and Anderson, three-point shooting, Hield and Melton, and ball handling, Anderson and Melton, all three are listed as second-string options on the depth chart as of now. Stephen A. Smith of ESPN criticized head coach Steve Kerr for the lack of star recruitment on the August 30 episode of First Take, questioning aloud if the upper echelon of the NBA is resistant to playing for him, as the other most plausible scenario would involve a disinterest in teaming up with Curry. Why couldn't they get Paul George? Smith wondered. Why can't they get another superstar to pair with Steph Curry? Especially in the aftermath of Kevin Durant's departure? Regardless of fault, the Dubs lost out on George like they lost out on every other star free agent and trade candidate this summer. As such, George is taking his 22.6 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.5 steals per game from last season to Philly for 2024 and beyond, while the Warriors continue to search for answers at the end of Curry's prime. High probability Warriors trade Jonathan Kuminga, insider. Could Jonathan Kuminga's days in a Warriors uniform be numbered? ESPN's Brian Windhorst believes there is a high probability the fourth-year forward will be traded if the Warriors don't offer him a contract extension by the October 2024 deadline for rookie sale extensions. A key player to watch is Jonathan Kuminga. He is in the middle of contract extension talks right now, Windhorst said on the August 30 episode of First Take on ESPN. If they sign him to an extension, it's more unlikely they trade him. However, if we get past the October deadline of an extension, and they don't find a deal there, he becomes a high probability of being traded during the season. The topic of Kuminga came up when the First Take crew discussed Golden State's failed pursuits of All-Stars Paul George or Lauri Markkanen in the 2024 offseason. Windhorst noted that the Warriors had been reluctant to give up either Kuminga or Brandon Podziemski in proposed trade packages. The Warriors face heightened pressure of adding a second star, such as the aforementioned George or Markkanen, after signing Stephen Curry to a contract extension in August 2024. The extension meant the longtime franchise star would remain in the Bay Area through the 2026-27 season. By recommitting to the franchise, Curry essentially put pressure on the Warriors to improve the roster, a year after they missed the playoffs. Entering the 2024-25 season, the Warriors were projected to win only 43.5 games, which would likely mean another year out of the postseason. Curry, 36, still looked in his athletic prime during the 2024 Paris Olympics, where he played a key role in Team USA grabbing a gold medal. The performance of Curry at the Olympiad led many analysts to urge Golden State to surround the legendary shooter with a more competitive roster in the 2024-25 season. However, the Warriors realize the urgency of Curry's title window. He turns 37 next March, and plan to give him a fair shot at a fifth NBA championship. It's top of mind for sure, Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy said in July 2024, via Yahoo Sports. In this league, you want to take advantage of these time horizons. And certainly, with Steph and Draymond Green still at a really high level, that's important. So, we've got to be mindful of the decisions we make to stay at this championship level. That's drafting, trading, signing, all that stuff. That's what went into adding, at the last moment, with Buddy Hield. We've gone over to the tax to do that. We're serious about winning. Joe's Lacob, putting his money where his mouth is. But to answer your question about capitalizing on Steph's prime, yeah, we're going after it. Kuminga averaged a career-high 16.1 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 2.2 assists last season while shooting an impressive 53% from the floor. Many felt the athletic forward had done enough to secure his place as a future cornerstone for the Warriors. However, there is a theory that the 21-year-old Kuminga is unlikely to realize his full potential anytime soon, which could force the Warriors to trade him sooner rather than later, especially when his value is at an optimum. A lot of rebuilding teams would jump at the opportunity of adding a player of Kuminga's caliber, especially if can feature him as the primary scoring option. Amid all that chatter, the Warriors are confident that Kuminga will prove his worth in the 2024-25 season. Usually that year 3 or year 4 leap is a huge one, and that's what we're hoping out of Jonathan this year, Dunleavy told ESPN in July, via Sports Illustrated. He's put the time in over the years, but most especially this summer. I know he's really working hard. Davis Bertans should make the Warriors' 2024-25 roster. Davis Bertans has reportedly signed an Exhibit 10 contract with the Golden State Warriors. The veteran forward was sitting on the free agency market this summer after failing to stick with the Oklahoma City Thunder and Charlotte Hornets last season. As his deal with the Warriors is an Exhibit 10, the franchise can waive him at any point before the new season begins without absorbing a cap hit. Bertans is a sharpshooting forward who would easily slot into Steve Kerr's rotation. The 31-year-old has played in 475 regular season NBA games, averaging 7.7 points and 2.4 rebounds while shooting 39.6% from the perimeter. He would likely play a very defined role in the Bay Area, where he would be tasked with spacing the floor while guarding the weak side corner on defense. Nevertheless, his defensive limitations would force Kerr to get creative on how to scram and switch him out of unfavorable matchups if teams decide to hunt him in the half court. Adding shooting to the Warriors' rotation is never a bad thing. Kerr likes his team to stretch defenses around the perimeter, allowing for his motion-based defense to work behind the point of attack defense. That's how Golden State consistently forces tough matchup decisions and creates collapses when probing on drives. Bertans is a single-skilled forward at this stage in his career. He can spot up and space the floor, and if pushed, he can attack closeouts with 1 or 2 dribbles before firing a mid-range jumper. However, his role would make sense as a veteran option deep on the Warriors' bench. Golden State will get a closer look at Bertans and how he could potentially fit with its roster during training camp. If he can impress and prove his worth as a veteran presence, there's no reason why he can't sign a 1-year veteran minimum deal to help it compete for a playoff spot next season. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Davis Bertans? Leave your opinion in the comments.